So 1/3 of the Senate will be up for re-election. And the question is, will Republicans be able to maintain control of the Senate? So I've been doing a series of videos talking about this. We have an AI model that we're looking at that will show the probability of Democrats taking back control of the Senate. And so we're going to talk a little bit about this today. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. If you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our AI model here. So we have the generic ballot. So generic ballot, Real Clear Politics, right now it's showing us at Democrats plus 4.6. That will change from day to day, okay? So right now that's what we're getting. When we have CPIU, so we're talking about inflation here, inflation is at 3%. Now, we haven't seen an update for October, and we might not get an update for October, so we're just going to have to wait to see what happens. We know we had a government shutdown, and so that slowed things up, but the current administration has indicated that we might not even get that information for October. Okay, unemployment rate, same thing. Unemployment is at 4.3%. We might not get that information, or we might get a partial update when it comes to unemployment rate. So we're just going to keep these numbers the same until we receive more information. Macro factors, and this has already been computed, and this is the number here. This is basically looking at the voter sentiment as far as the economy is concerned. Okay, and so now what I want to focus on is some of the individual races. We're going to briefly go through these. So Georgia, right now it tilts for Democrats, so that's Ossoff there running. He's an incumbent. And then you have Michigan that tilts for Democrats as well. And you have Maine. That's a toss-up right now. So you have an incumbent. You have a Republican, Collins, and she is in a toss-up race right now. We don't know if she's going to be running against Mills or Plattner. We'll have to find that information out in the future. I didn't really talk about the percentages here, but we're looking at this would be a 61 means 61%. And this is a 61% win probability. Okay, now win probability, and let me talk just about that really briefly, just so you understand, because I think some people are getting a little bit confused. And so you might be saying, well, wow, Ossoff has a big lead, 61 to 39. That's not what this is telling us. This 61% is basically telling us that if you, let's say you ran the election 100 times, Ossoff would win 61 of those times. Okay, so that's the win probability. That's what we need to focus on. It's a little bit easier to look at the win probability than to look at the actual spread. The actual spread is hard to determine. So if we're looking at a spread of 61 to 39, that's a huge victory for that person who has 61. But if we're looking at win probability, we're just taking that race times 100, and we're saying that Ossoff would win 61% of the time. So once again, with the win probability, 61 for Michigan, 61 for Maine. And then when it comes to North Carolina, we have this tilting for the Democrats, 61 again. So 61% win probability. And then Ohio, we have that as a toss-up now. This is interesting. So we're showing 51. So 51, and this is out of 100. So they're saying 51 out of 100. That's why it's a toss-up. It's almost a coin flip at this point in Ohio. In Iowa, this leans for Republicans. This is another toss-up, which is 50-50 pretty much. It says lean Republican, but out of a coin flip, it's a 50-50 shot there. When it comes to Texas, and you know, Cornyn is running for re-election. He's the incumbent. He is running in a tough race right now in the primary. And so he is running against Paxton. If he beats Paxton, he has a really good chance of winning here because we have 29%. And so this is basically saying out of 100 coin flips, 29 of those coin flips would go to the Democrat, but the rest would go to the Republican. So 71 would go to the Republican. So you see Cornyn right now has a huge advantage when it comes to Texas. But we don't know if Cornyn is going to be the candidate because of this primary. So Paxton can actually be the candidate. If Paxton wins, because Paxton's a Republican as well, if Paxton wins in the primary, then these numbers will change. They could go up, they could go down. And I think Democrats want to run against Paxton instead of running against Cornyn. Cornyn does have that incumbent advantage. And so we'll have to see what happens in the future there. Okay, so let's go and take a look at the forecast here. So the Democrats, week 3, Democrats are at 48.8. That's the seats that they could potentially win. Okay, so basically they can increase by a little bit. Week 4, they're now at 49%. Okay, so you see the change there. Now, when it comes to the GOP, they were at 51.2, and then week 4, now they're at 51, and then there's the change there. Okay, so the Democrats week 3 probability 7.4%. Okay, 7.4% a chance of winning. So remember, we're talking about the coin flip. Out of 100 coin flips, they would win about 7.5 of those. Week 4, we're at 8.8%. So now, if you had a coin flip of 100, they would win 8.8 times. Okay, so we do have an increase here, plus 1.4. Now, the probability of Republicans maintaining control of the Senate, 92.6. That was week 3. Now we're looking at 91.2. So you see the numbers are changing a little bit, but you see Republicans have a huge advantage because in a coin flip, 100 flips, they're going to win 91 of those. And so you see Republicans have a huge advantage when we're looking at who is going to control the Senate. And that's mainly because of the numbers. The numbers are already out there. And the reason why Republicans have a huge advantage, this is what we're looking at right now. So Republicans are at 51. Democrats and independents are at 45. Okay, and we have 4 toss-ups. This is what we're looking at right now. So Republicans already have the majority with the 51. We're not counting the toss-ups. And so what this means is Democrats are going to have to run the table. They need to win in Georgia. They need to win in North Carolina. They need to win in Maine. And they need to win in Michigan. The good news for Democrats is that they're doing pretty good in all of those states. But even winning those states, look, Democrats and independents, 49, Republicans, 51. Republicans still have the majority. So Democrats need to net 2 more seats in order to win the majority. And so that's why Republicans have this huge advantage, because now all they need to do is, even if Democrats ran the table, as I stated, Georgia, North Carolina, Maine, Michigan, and at that point, all Republicans need to do is just defend the seats that they already have. If they can defend the seats that they already have, they're going to win. Now, we did talk a little bit about Ohio. Ohio is getting closer and closer. You have Sherrod Brown that in the polls, he's doing better. And so Sherrod Brown, who's a Democrat, he was a senator in Ohio before. Now, he did lose in 2024, but he has won in the past. So if it's possible that Democrats win, let's say they win Ohio. If they win Ohio, now we have Democrats at 50, Republicans at 50. Guess what? Republicans still have control. Why? Because of the vice president. Vice president's a Republican. The vice president comes in and breaks the tie. So now Democrats need to win another seat. And so that's why it's really hard for Democrats, because then you start looking here, okay, where can Democrats win? Are they going to be able to win in Texas? Probably not. Florida? Probably not. South Carolina? Probably not. I think their only real opportunity, and they might have two opportunities, was really not Democrats, but when we're talking about Nebraska, you have an independent there. If that independent caucuses with Democrats, then let's say the independent wins and they caucus with Democrats, then Democrats would be able to have that control. But Iowa is one that I'm looking at. I have my eye on Iowa because Senator Ernst is retiring. So now you're going to have that open seat. So Democrats have an opportunity, even though we're still talking about a red state. Democrats still have an opportunity to win, depending on who they pick as a candidate and who the challenger is on the Republican side. So let's just say, for sake of argument, Iowa goes to the Democrats. Now we're looking at Democrats at 51, Republicans at 49. Now Democrats would take back control of the Senate. But it's going to be very, very hard. And that's why when we're looking at this AI model, it's showing us that Republicans have a 90+% chance of winning, because out of those coin flips that we were talking about, 91 of those would go to Republicans unless Democrats are able to run the table and take 2 more seats on top of that. So I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Democrats will be able to take back control of the Senate? So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe for more, and remember, stay informed and stay engaged. Talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.